Hey guys, how are you doing? And welcome back to another episode of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. This is episode 2, and last time out, you might remember we were in Bahrain where we scored P7, that amounts to 6 points. You can see in the Drivers' Championship where Valtteri Bottas is leading from Hamilton and Verstappen. So this time around we are in Spain, and you can see that we still haven't unlocked another sponsor yet, as nor have we chosen a rival. I'm assuming that will come sometime later in the season. Fiddling through the rest of the stuff, and we had a development failed in the aerodynamics, which we will order again, and I'm pretty sure that will go on the car before the Canadian Grand Prix. We have unlocked a couple of other upgrades, but we don't have enough resource points right now to use them. So as and when we get that, car development is absolutely key if we want to move further up the field and ensure that along with us, which was a surprise result last time, maybe our teammate Robert Schwartzman can score some points as well. Right, so moving on, we are again fiddling through the facility screen to see if there is anything we can upgrade in terms of specs. Currently we are spec 1 in powertrain and durability, but not on other areas of the HQ, so we'll have to wait some more, and until then we will dive straight into the race weekend, which is a very peculiar circuit used often for testing in winter testing before the actual F1 season goes live. But this time around, this is round 2 of 16, as you can see on the screen. A good track for me. I enjoy driving here, but I'm assuming I won't qualify higher up the field, so it will be a tough ask to make up places. And the start of the practice, try to set up the car, which is always a challenge on this game, at least right now, where not getting much help right now from other resources, and I'm still very confused about how to set up my car. So that's something which is on my mind as I go into this practice session. Right, so weekend preview, it just shows how many tires are there, who's leading the drivers and constructors championship. Development updates, we have 3 upgrades fitted on the car and 1 failed, and weather wise it looks all dry for the qualifying as well as race. So nothing much to do on the screen, and next up we will go to the practice session. I'm choosing to go to the track myself and doing these sessions because I haven't driven ever on this game on Barcelona or in Barcelona, so that's something I'm looking forward to, and see how the curbs treat me, because there are a few notorious curbs, and this game the curbs are much more deadly. So let's see how we get on and see if we can try to beat our teammate and maybe a few other drivers on the grid. Right, so in practice 1, looking through the practice programs, we have race strategy and a couple of other programs which we will be doing, and seems like a pretty dry session as it is throughout the weekend. Practice 3 might have some rain. You can see 87% chance of rain, so maybe I will just not run in that session at all, and maybe ask the AI to do the laps for me. But this is one of our first laps. You can see lap 3, and this is just no program. I'm just running as it is on the tractor to get a feel of the car, and we will have a moment right about here where we lose the car and go into the gravel.
Surface temps tend to fluctuate faster, so try a few laps with the data open and get a feel for how to control them.
Alright, so first off, hopefully not many incidents, and what I wanted to highlight here is Jeff just keeps on talking. He knows I've spun there and he still keeps on talking. That's something which is little weird to see after having an incident like that, and he just continues on to finish whatever he wants to say. But anyways, we move on. This is a couple of laps later, and again you will see that the curbs are catching me out, almost losing the car there. Now onto that section where you have to take the curb, but I took a little bit more of it, and as such I lost the car. This is just a couple of replays where we're putting in final laps of the session before we do the practice program, and There's a livery. I realized I haven't shown much of the livery. So here we go. That's the practice session done.
The
And
session has drawn to a close, so let's review our top three. Hamilton, Bottas and Daniel Ricciardo. And if today's practice is anything to go by, we're in for an exceptional weekend of Formula One.
yeah, so P20 in the session behind my teammate, but not really something I'm worried about. I know I'll be able to bounce back maybe after a couple of tweaks to my setup, although it's pretty much in a shot in the dark as far as setups go for me on this game. So you can see some programs have been completed, and I'm asking the computer or the AI to do programs for me and hoping that they will complete it on time and get resource points for me. So this is something which is a new feature, I think, from last year's game. So I thought I'll just quickly show you that before I probably will skip over these screens from next time onwards. But yeah, you can see the percentage success of each practice program and the time it will take. So you have a limited amount of time, obviously just 1 hour in a session, and the clock is still ticking. You can see bottom right. So while you're choosing as well, the clock keeps ticking, so it's not that you are stuck at 0 or 60. And I think we will choose a couple of programs to run so that we get resource points. Well, this one was completed, but again it was a 50-50 chance that it might fail. Right, so running other programs as well, and you can see turbo program has failed, so you will have to run it again, and hopefully this time we will get it completed. So that gives you an added boost in terms of the next upgrades you do in that department, and as well as earns your resource points. So that was practice 2. Practice 3 more or less was a washout. It was a wet session, so not really showing much of that. And we are diving into qualifying now. It's a short qualifying, 18-minute format, not doing the full qualifying just yet. We'll see if our car is up to the mark and then probably do full qualifying sessions, because obviously the start of the race, if you're in top 10, depends on which tires you qualified on in Q2. So as far as my first laps go, not very competitive. I'm just showing you my setup here which I'm using. Please don't take notes because this is working for me right now, but I don't even know if I'm achieving my full potential or of my car or myself by using this setup. So that's something just a little bit random, some YouTube videos, some tweaking of my own which I'm using for now. And let's see, I think I will come out of the garage with
All
my
set.
teammate here. So
Everyone
that
clear?
was
Car to
a
track.
cool shot which I was able to capture just at the start of the qualifying session. You will see both the cars in unison leaving the pits. Well, you see that in real life, but not always in the game. Yeah, there you go. Both the yellow cars leaving the pits at the same time, and just as we reach the apex or the breaking point, I let Schwartzman go, and him having clean air. Now we cut to the end of the session as we are in last place right now, P22. You can see on the top right, and so we have to make up a lot of time, and we are gaining by almost 3/10. So not a lot of improvement, so it seems like that's where the car is in terms of pace. Schwartzman is P18 right now, and let's see what we can do in these final sessions. Up by almost 5/10 as we are on to the start finish straight. Yeah, that's 5/10, and I think we gain a couple of positions to qualify in P20. So
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three. Hamilton, Bottas and Max Verstappen. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
right, so that's the qualifying over. I have qualified in the 20th place, 3 seconds off pole. Not a good sign. 2/10 of my teammate, less bad of a sign. And yeah, that's the qualifying. I was expecting to be at least out qualifying my teammate. Hasn't happened, but let's see if we get more opportunities in the race, and we will waste absolutely no time and dive straight into the race. The 5 lights are on the screen, and lights out, and we are underway. It's a good start initially, but Schwartzman gets a better start, and Latifi and Mazepin, what a start from there. Maybe it was a poor getaway from me, and both of them have overtaken me. So before we reach turn 1, I have already down 2 places. I tried to hang it round the outside of Mazepin, have to give him the room, not taking a lot of curb because I am a little unsure about how the curbs are still in this game. I'd spin out, and as we reach the end of sector 1, as we almost run into the back of Mazepin there, and we have to stay behind in the last place for now, as the field is still bunched up when we go for a mega dive bomb onto turn 5. We have already gotten Mazepin. Maybe we can get Giovinazzi as well. Yes, we do. Latifi is up 1 place, and he is directly behind Schwartzman. So Latifi in a bit of a sandwich here as far as me and Schwartzman are concerned, and through the turn, which is not flat out anymore on this game, at least not the setup I am running. I am 2 places down, and then I recover those places. I go for another dive bomb on Latifi. Lucky I didn't get damage there. I'm running standard damage, by the way, not reduced or simulation, but I didn't get damage from that, and that's really lucky because that wasn't the best of the moves, especially on lap 1 where the entire race is still yet to be conducted, and losing ground to Latifi in the final sector. But at the end of lap 1 we are in P20, which is exactly where we started. So now it's a time to dig our heels in, and you can see at the start of lap 7
within 1 second
still
of the car
behind
ahead.
Latifi,
Get ready to use
and
DRS to
not really
overtake.
making any inroads. Ricardo is exiting the pits. The soft runners have started pitting now, and onto those medium tires they are doing a 1 stop, or rather 2 stops, sorry, for sure, as I'm trying to see if I can unsettle Latifi with my speed out of turn 3, and I'm just about able to get it, as here we go around the outside of turn 4. I'm giving him space as he is to me. I'm trying to still get the move done as I push him wide on the exit, and that is P16 for the taking, as Ricardo gets a beautiful exit out of turn 5, and he will take that position, and I don't fight it at all. Right, so Ricardo is through, and not really fighting him, as he is not, we are in a race against, and Latifi
Yellow
and
flag.
probably Schwartzman are our main rivals, as
Be
there's a yellow
aware,
flag up
there's an
ahead, and that's
incident in the
Schwartzman
next part of the
who
track.
has
No
stranded
overtaking
on the
through the yellow
grass there in
flags.
sector 3, and it seems like he has an
flag.
issue, or maybe coming together with another car, but that's really unlucky. He'll lose a lot of positions. Maybe he'll have to go into the pits, as not sure if he has damage, but there we go, defending from Latifi still, as there are other people putting in. We gain a couple of more positions there. Latifi is gaining, but not enough to trouble us into turn 1, and we keep P14 for now, as the engineer is asking us if we want a strategy change. We would like to pit on lap 14,
Okay,
maybe
copy
even
that.
earlier, because I don't want the likes of Latifi to undercut, as we are then being caught by Carlos Sainz. But at the end of lap 12, that's 2 laps earlier than our regular pit stop window, we come into the pits to save ourselves from a possible undercut from Latifi and the likes. Into the pits onto the hard tires,
Complete,
and
go
that's the
now.
only stop of the race,
Look after
unless
these
there is
tyres
a late
now.
safety
We
car.
want to finish the race on this compound.
Yeah, so we have exited the pits now. Giovinazzi is just about 15 seconds up the road, and we have an absolutely clear track. So the track is to ourselves, and now it's the time to push and ensure that we take advantage of these fresh tires. Come out ahead of Latifi and Schwartzman. You can see I've already gotten a 3-second time penalty. That is for track extension. So that's something I have to be careful about and ensure that I don't get any more penalties, as we are now moving on to lap 15. So 3 laps later, or rather 2 laps later, and you can see sectors, they are red, so I'm not really taking advantage of those tires, but that's the confirmation.
Robert is coming in for his
Schwartzman
stop.
is in the pits, and let's see where we come out in comparison to him, as well as Nicholas Latifi, as we are now powering down the main straight just right about now, using a lot of ERS, trying to stay in front. You can see
Gap to
there are
car in
3
front
cars
is
in the pits
12.3
as
seconds.
we jump 3 places into P18, and Latifi and Schwartzman still yet to exit the pit. And yeah, there you go. So 3 seconds is what we seem to have gained, because Latifi was less than a second behind us when we dived into the pits on lap 12. So that undercut has helped us, and we have to ensure that the gap grows more and more instead of shrinking because of our time penalty. You can see Russell is showing really good pace. He's almost 7 seconds up the road, now 12 seconds up the road, and he has made up a lot of time on us, and there is no chance of catching him. It's a mini map. It is Mercedes going really slowly in the first sector. Don't know if that is Lewis Hamilton or Bottas. We'll get to know in just about a second, as our engineer will tell us. So Lewis Hamilton, you can see on the notification, it's him out of the race. So not a good start to the season. Did not win the first race, and in the second race in Spain he is going to score 0 points, and that's exactly where him and Nico Rosberg came together in 2016. So not really sure if it was coming together with his teammate or some other car, or whether he has had a mechanical issue, which is why he has retired from the race. As we almost lose the car there, we're trying to see the minimap while we do that, and you can see Lewis's car will be on the left as we cross him. So that is 1 position gained, nowhere near the points. But let's have a look at what happened to Hamilton as he exits the second turn, and yeah, just going slowly there. You can see a little bit of a smoke that's from the exhaust, but maybe his engine just gave up, or a gearbox issue. We would never know. But that's him going slowly through turn 3 and then parking it on the left of the track. And so that's the end of Lewis Hamilton's race, and he would be hoping for better races and better reliability in the seasons to come by. As Bottas is now, with 5 laps to go, lapping us. So we are going to be lapped here. I'm trying to give as much room as possible to Bottas, but he's just not pulling away, and that maneuver has cost me 2 seconds I've lost to Schwartzman and Latifi. So all the hard work I did on my second stint trying to pull that gap of more than 3 seconds, that has been undone by a car which was coming around to lap me. So not a great way to end this race, and could see that Schwartzman had overtaken Latifi there. Why that happened is because of the same reason. Schwartzman let Bottas go on the back straight, and just as Bottas was lapping Latifi, Schwartzman took advantage of that, and that is a very, very clever move, if I can say so. And he is through. This is again not for points but for position, and he has overtaken Latifi, and now it's in the back of me. So Schwartzman showing some really good pace, and this is a testament to the fact that had he not had that moment in sector 3, maybe he would have challenged for a really good position here. He goes down the inside of me, I have to give him space, but on the second phase of the corner I snatched that position back, and without any contact being made, I retain P17 for now. But when the checkered flag falls and we cross the line, he will have that position because of a 3-second time penalty to me, as now we are being shown blue flags again. This is a Red Bull behind us, and it's really annoying to get blue flags in the third sector where there's not really much room to let cars by, and we basically have to slow down a lot to let them by. If you don't do that soon enough, you will get a penalty. So you don't really have a choice, as on the last corner I take a very wide line to let Perez through and Max Verstappen. So the Red Bulls are in a battle of their own. Let's see if Verstappen or Perez can get P2 here, because this is, by the way, the last lap for them, and hence the last lap for us as well. But what a lead Bottas has in this race. So he won the first race, he is going to win the second race as well, and that is very good for his championship chances. just 2 races into the season, now coming towards the end of this lap, which is the final lap for us since we are being lapped. So that's the end of the lap, and because of what happened under blue flags, I'm going to lose a place to not only Schwartzman but Latifi, who is within 3 seconds of me as well. So while I'll finish P17 on the road with 0 points, I will finish P19 in the classifications because of time penalties. So
Okay,
really
pick up
frustrating
rubber
race,
and bring it home.
and well, no points definitely, but not good pace from me as well. That's something which I need to work on, maybe put in more time and effort into setting up the car and practicing a bit more. Mercedes and Bottas take second consecutive race win of the
Anthony,
season.
tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
Let's move on to the constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Right, so that's the end of the race, and somehow I'm still classified in P17, which was really puzzling to see because Schwartzman and Latifi both were within 3 seconds of me. But anyways, it was not for points, so it's all good. Bottas and Norris having good races and recognition for both of them. Now that's the end of the race, and something we are doing in R&D is decreasing the build time of our durability upgrades. We have seen that our car is not that durable. We have been, well, not now, but we will face reliability issues later in the season, picking up penalties and such, because it's the parts we have in our car are wearing too fast. So that's something we have to keep in mind. We have one minor upgrade of the aerodynamics which will come in before the Canadian Grand Prix, and in terms of other upgrades, I think we are going to go for an engine upgrade in powertrain. That is the cylinder head, which will give us more power output. I think this is probably the last engine upgrade I'll do because we are quite competitive when it comes to engine, and I think I need to focus. Yeah, you can see that we are 5th in the standings as well. So pretty competitive engine for a car which is fighting for points, not even points right now, but I think I will need to focus on the likes of aero and chassis to be more competitive all round. We have unlocked the second sponsor, so after some deliberation and going through the goal bonuses and the weekly income, I have opted for Zeneto. That's the second sponsor will do, and basically all we need to do is answer a couple of questions to the press every week. This is the livery, by the way. I realized it did not show it in the first episode, so I thought I'll just quickly take you through this. And I was just playing around with what you can put on the halo, and this is something really interesting which I found. Keep calm and no heroics into Saint Devord. So that's Codemasters themselves making fun of Jeff, so that was really cool to see. We have a small interview with Will Buxton, and after that we'll do a bit of housekeeping before we end the episode.
I'm worried about our cash reserves. They're pretty low and we might have to start shutting down facilities. You're not
So
currently in a
that's
rivalry.
our
Sooner or
assistant
later, you'll probably be
telling
asked
us
by the
that
media
cash
who you
is
consider to be
king,
your rival.
and we have to
Think
ensure that
carefully who
we
you select.
bring enough
That's
income
why you'll receive a
to
claim
keep
for
the
beating
team
them.
running.
You'll lose a claim if you fail to do so. Could you take a look at this for us, please?
There was a dilemma which was about team training, about security and all that. So why not? It gives us more resource points, and we're down on cash, but we want those resource points as well. So basically,
Thanks.
a trade-off.
I know these
And
kinds of
we
decisions
choose
can
team
be
training. So
challenging,
these are some
but
dilemmas
I
which
think
the
you made the right call.
game will keep throwing at us throughout the season, and nothing
Hey,
much to
boss.
do as of yet.
I think we could better manage our time by organising some team activities. Head to the activities screen to see what we have available.
Yeah, this is something to keep our staff busy during the idle time, and basically you try to put in activities which boost the morale of departments as well as bring in some cash. So there are sponsor events or sponsor advertisements, some team building activities, and some focused department activities which give you resource points, cash, as well as morale. So that's something which we do between race weekends. Since this is one of the first episodes, I thought I'll just quickly show you how I do it, or how usually it is done, although I'm sure that you would have seen other career mode videos in the previous games to see that. And very quickly we will be jumping to the next Grand Prix, obviously in the next episode. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Hit like and subscribe to the channel if you are new and you want to see more F1 2021 content. I'll be dropping these videos maybe once or twice a week, so your support will keep me going. And do leave a comment
Our
if
new
there's any
parts have
feedback
completed
from you.
without issue.
So
They'll be on the car
hope you
ready
like
for
this
the next race
episode.
weekend.
Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, and I'll see you next time.